today, we're just going to go over a quick introduction of Bluebeam. I'm pretty sure that most of you are familiar with Bluebeam at this point, so we're kind of going to breeze through that. And then we're just going to jump right into our live Takeoff demo and finishing up with where you can find additional resources. And I'll answer any questions that you might have with the remaining time. Okay, so yeah, if you're new to Bluebeam, they've been around since 2002, empowering 1.9 million unique users across 130 countries. Their flagship product, Bluebeam Revu, helps teams simplify complex processes and collaborate in real time, finishing projects on schedule and under budget, hopefully. Revu is a project efficiency and collaboration solution built especially for design and build professionals, empowering them to do their best work. More than that, its goal is to address tangible business challenges, including maximizing productivity, reducing costs, and improving predictability in your project. And one of those features is creating quantity takeoffs. So we're just going to jump right into our demo. Here we have just our sample document. You notice that we have some meeting rooms, some office spaces, general office layout. And the first thing that we need to do before we start measuring anything is we need to calibrate our scale. Sometimes the drawings will have the scale printed on the title block somewhere. But if you do not, like it looks like I don't see one here. But if you don't have a scale set here, what you can do is you can use the calibration feature. So backing it up real quick, I am on the Revu Advanced profile. So if your Revu doesn't look quite like this, you can switch your profile up to Revu Advanced. But other than that, I have not changed too much from this default preset profile. So should match up to kind of what you're seeing. One thing I do like to do is I like to keep the properties panel on the left-hand side, as well as, and then the measurements on the right-hand side. So one good way to, if you don't have any measurements necessarily being called out in your document, one easy way that I find to calibrate is to use the doorways. And we could use that as about 3 feet. And so in my measurement panel over here, or under Tools, Measure, you can select the Set Scale button. And if you know the preset, or if you know the scale already, you can just choose it from a dropdown of the different presets, or we can hit this calibrate button, and it's going to ask me to select 2 points of a known dimension. So let's say here and here, and we could say that that'll be 3 feet. Great. So now we have our scale set, and just to confirm, we can select the length measurement. And yeah, it's about 3 feet. Close enough for jazz. So that should be all set. And just to clarify, all of the measurement tools can also be found under here in the tools dropdown. They also have keyboard shortcuts that you can memorize if it's a feature that you use frequently. But it's the same tools accessible in both places, depending on what's easiest for you. So if all of the drawings in the document have the same scale, you can go ahead and you can click this button, Add Scale to More Pages. And this will prompt me to select the pages that I want to add the scale to. And then that would apply it to all the different pages in the document. We're not going to do that in this case because specifically because of this page does not have the same scale. Okay, so now that we've got our scale calibrated, let's go ahead and let's just take some measurements. I have my markups are turned off right now because they're would blow up the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and show that here just so we can see it. Now, if I wanted to measure the area of this meeting room, let's say, there's a few ways that I can go about doing that. But just looking at it off the bat, this curved corner might not be so easy. But I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to select the perimeter measurement tool. So again, available here in the measurements panel or under tools, measure, perimeter. And it's going to change my mouse cursor into crosshairs. And I'm just going to go ahead and start tracing the outline of this meeting room. And I'm going to kind of do the best I can with this corner here. And then I'll show you how to sort that out after I'm done creating this polygon. Okay. And there we go. So that's just a quick perimeter measurement. But what do we do about this corner over here? So if I right click on this corner vertex, now that the polygon is created, I can click on this convert to arc button as well as this one. So now I have this arc that I can kind of shift and make line up with pretty close to the actual curve. And you notice that it adjusted my measurement accordingly. See? So pretty useful tool there. There's also the ability to measure radius and diameter. So you can use that as well to measure curved or circular shapes. Or you can do it the way that I showed by doing the poly length or perimeter measurement and then adjusting the shape accordingly once it's done. Now, when I click on my measurement markup, on the left-hand side, you'll see the properties panel. And this is why I like having the properties panel on the left and the measurement panel on the right, because I can mess with my measurement settings over here, as well as the markup display properties over here on the left. So for example, I do not like the red color. I'm going to make it a nice dark blue, as well as the text. So we'll change the text color to this dark blue. And I don't like that the perimeter is listed on this right-hand side. So what I can do is I can go ahead and move it. No. I can move it. Okay, well, I should be able to move it. Ah, okay, here it is. Get rid of that. And I can also show the segment values if I wanted to show each of these individual segments. There we go. Like a line horizontally, and that should do it. Okay, now I'm going to add some hatching. So I'm going to fill this, maybe another dark blue. Okay. Don't know why that's not filling in. Okay, well, it's not cooperating with me today, so that's great. Well, anyway, moving on. The joys of live demos. So now that I have my markup created, my measurement, you'll notice that it also shows up in my markups list on the bottom. Now, what I can do is you can see that there's already some markups preset over here. And what I can do is I can change this to match the other ones. And now it is a polished concrete markup. So if I wanted to filter by, if I'm just the concrete guy and I just wanted to see just the stuff that I'm interested in, I can go ahead and I can filter by, oops, go ahead and filter by concrete. Polished concrete, I guess, in this case. And so now it's just showing all of my polished concrete markups. Now, over here on the left-hand side in my tool panels, I have my tool chest. And you can see there's a number of different toolboxes already preset. But the one I want to bring your attention to is this recent tools. And what this does is this keeps a running list of all of the markups that you have added. I don't know how far back it goes, but it goes pretty far. I think it just keeps it all from the current session. And what's nice about that is, let's say I spent all that time customizing this perimeter markup tool. And okay, I know why it wasn't filling in. It's because I would need to do the area tool. So let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's make an area markup, and let's make this my dark blue color. And let's make this a different material. So let's call this flooring, and it's going to be hardwood. So we're going to have some hardwood floors, and we're actually going to do all of this open space in reception down here, and we'll make that all hardwood. So how do we grab all of this area? Well, we can certainly take the perimeter tool or area tool and keep clicking through, or we can use what's called the dynamic fill tool. So to access the dynamic fill tool, under the measurements panel, we select dynamic fill, or go to tools, measure, dynamic fill, or use the J shortcut. And what that does is this opens up this little toolbar here. And this is kind of an advanced Bluebeam feature. So keep your eyes open. It's a pretty advanced. And what it does is I can select this little paint bucket fill tool, and I can just go ahead and start highlighting all of this space, filling this in. And there's all kinds of things you can tweak about this. You can add boundaries, change the fill size, change the fill speed, adjust the edge sensitivity that you can play around with depending on the drawing. You're just going to see if the defaults work well enough for now and hope for the best. So you can see it kind of, as you move the mouse, it kind of smartly knows what to fill in and where to stop. But if you're finding that it's going over, like you see how it's going through the dashed lines, you could set that boundary if you wanted to make sure that it did not pass through that space. You can set the boundary like that. So I'm going to keep going, filling in this space. Okay, almost there. I'm being very careful about it. Oh, because I don't want that to happen. So you can just undo if that does happen to you. Oh, there we go, got me again. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just create a quick boundary spot over here because I think that seems to be the problem area. And no, okay, I'll have to make a big old boundary there. That's fine. No big deal. So to do this, I'm just clicking and double click to finish. There we go. And that should be enough. No, it's not. Okay. Well, we'll just leave that be for now. Oh, come on. Not cooperating with me today. That's fine. I'll just save that part to the end since I got just about everything except for that one little problem section. It really wants to get in there for some reason. Well, let's see. Let's block off this whole section. Okay. There we go. That should do it. And if it doesn't, then I don't know. Wow. Okay. Okay, let's turn down the fill size. Oh, killing me. Okay, I must have missed, there must be a gap somewhere where it's going through, but yeah, well, doing the best I can. Okay, so let's pretend that we want that all hardwood too. All right, so in this universe, we have hardwood everywhere. Okay. So I have that whole space filled in. And now that it's filled in, I can decide what I want to do with it. So over here on this right-hand side of the panel, I can create the different features based on that fill. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a space. And I'm going to call this, oh my gosh, I'm going to call it hardwood. And I'm going to click this space button. And I also want to create an area measurement. Poly length measurement not as useful for me in this case because that unit doesn't if I'm putting down floors, doesn't help me. But I do want the area. And what I can do is I can click on this drop down, and you can see I can select this hardwood markup that I created. So let me go ahead and select that. And when I hit apply, it creates the markup based on that fill. So you might be wondering what this space is. What the space is it's kind of like a zone to organize your markups. Let me close the dynamic fill tool and show you what I mean. So if I open up my markup list, turn my filter off, you can see on this on the markups list all the way on the right-hand side is this space column. And you can see everything within that space is labeled under the hardwood space. So let me create a markup. Let me open up my toolbox, and I'm going to add a let's add a door, or yeah, I'm not sure, an equipment tag, whatever, doesn't matter. So we add that here. Let's say that can be anything. It can be a light switch. It can be a, anything. And if I go into my panel, you'll see that it's under the space hardwood. So what I can do is, if I wanted to see everything in the hardwood space, I can go ahead and filter that by the space that it's in. So you can kind of figure out specific zones or areas where certain materials go. You can do a count of how much of X is in Y, and you can really get a good breakdown, things like that. So let me go ahead and get rid of that. Cool. So you can see that there's already a bunch of perimeter and poly length markups here. You can see that there's a bunch of different spaces that are already set. But what I want to draw your attention to is the search function on this left-hand panel. It might be on the right panel for you, but this is another way to add markups to your document. So let me go to the next page. If I'm looking at the reflected ceiling plan, and let me get rid of these guys so that we can show you. So I'm looking at these symbols, and I want to do a count. So there's a few ways to do that. You can use the count measurement tool, which you go through the document, you will just literally count everything. Great. One quick tip that I want to share. If you are doing a count measurement and you miss one, you can right click on your count measurement and select resume count. And what that will do is that will pick up where you left off. So that's one way to do it. But if you click on the search panel, yeah, you can do a word search, which is great. I search for words all the time, but you also have this visual search option. So let's select that. And once I do, I have the option to get rectangle. And I'm going to go here and drag a box around my symbol. I'm going to select limit by selection. It might be tough to see, but actually, let me grab a bigger. So unselecting limit by selection will search for everything within the confines of the box that I drew. Limit by selection will show only the like the full features that are captured within the rectangle. So let me do that again. So again, turning it off, you can see very barely in the corners, those lines are showing up. I just want this symbol, so I'm going to keep that selected. And there's a bunch of different parameters that you can tweak here. And one thing I should note is that this search isn't perfect. Sometimes when document has patterns and things like layered on top of each other, it might not capture it perfectly, or it might capture the wrong thing if it's too general of a shape or something like that. So still you trust your eyes, but it's a great tool to kind of do a lot of that work manually. So let me go ahead and give that a search. You can see on the bottom left is the current progress. It's a pretty big document, so it may take a while. You could also limit to the current document or the current page, which is what I should have done, but too late now. And you can see the results starting to pop up on the bottom here. Yeah, see, so like I was saying, it captured this, which might be, what you wanted to capture, but it also might be something different. So always keep in mind to double check. Okay, other than that, it looks like it captured just about everything. So now what do I do with that? Well, if I click this box here, this will let me select all, and I'm just going to go and I'm going to deselect the ones that are not the ones that I want to count. Okay. I know that some of these are a little bit different, like this one with the dash lines. I'm just going to leave that for now, but if it were a different item, then you can go ahead and deselect that too. So that looks to be about it. So now that I have the ones selected, if I click on this check options, I can apply count measurement to the selected. So if I had something built in already, like these switches or receptacles, I could select that. So I'll just go ahead and we'll call these switches. And so now we have a count markup of all of the switches. So we select that. Yeah, great. And you can see over here, it's a switch in the reflected ceiling plan. And that's great. So, but what if I wanted to do some more with this? Give this to my, my workman guys, and so that they know, what's in each space and how much of whatever. Well, we have this legend up here that we can create. So let me delete that and I'll show you how to create that. So if I'm just looking at this page, I can select my markup, right click, and I can select the legend button. It will prompt me to create a new legend. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And easy as that. If I switch to the properties panel, this will let me change what is displayed in the legend. So for example, you'll notice that what's being shown is supply diffuser, which is technically the subject, I believe. Yeah, it is the subject. But if, for example, I had this area measurement on this other page, if I wanted to show a different label for that one, you could do that by selecting the legend, and you can change the column descriptor. So if I change that to label, I can change it to the comments or whatever else you might want to display, would display the best. You can also click this edit column button and select what columns you want it to show, which is neat. So you can show, obviously some of these are doubled up because the quantity of the count technically and the measurements are the same. But if they were different, then you could show that. And if I ever wanted to add to the legend, let me go back to my other page. And let's say if I wanted to add this count to my same legend, right click. And this is going to prompt me does it want to create a new legend, a separate one, or add it to the current legend? If I click that, and you see, and what's nice about this is that it will update in real time. So remember, if I right click and I do resume counts, let me keep going, and I add one here. Oh, come on. Okay. So you can see that updated automatically. And now let's take this one step further, and let's try to calculate some costs. So if I go into my markups list and go to the columns and then go to manage columns, see, these are all the built-in columns. You can change the order, change what's displayed. But there's also this option for custom columns. And let's go ahead and add a unit cost. And it will be a number. And it will be a currency. It will be dollars. Great. So now I have unit cost column in my markups list. So if I know that, let's say these switches, if I know that these are $2.50 each, I can go ahead and enter that. But Bluebeam will also take that one step further if you want it to. So if I go back to my custom columns, I can add another one. And this time I'm going to change the type to formula. And I'm going to call this one total cost. And when I click on expression, I get the option to select my different variables. So I'm going to take the unit cost multiplied by the measurement. And I'm going to click OK. And let me just make this a little bit easier to read. There we go. So now you can see that I have 70 times 250, and I have my total cost here. And if I knew the unit cost of the supply diffuser, I can make that 125, and that will update there. And then I could even show that in my legend as well, if I wanted to. Great. So one more quick thing I want to show you is how to link this to an invoice or some other document that you might want to apply it to. Note that this following feature is only available in the extreme version of Revu. So just an FYI. So let me go ahead and I'll open up Excel. Okay, so here is my Excel. I just downloaded this is just a basic template that I got from the homepage. And I'm going to change this to diffuser. And then what was the other one? It was, okay, switch. Yeah. So let's put those up here. Switch, diffuser, and then let's get rid of the rest of these here. Okay. So if I wanted to, this is just a dummy cell, not smart. I know the pricing here. I think the switch was 125, and this was 250. I forget, but you get the idea. Once you have Bluebeam installed, you get this Bluebeam add-in up here. And if I right click, I have this quantity link button added to my menu. So if I hit create, I'm gonna add my file, Takeoff. Just gonna change that to the second page, since that's the only one that I'm interested in currently. And I want to take the count of my switch, and that will be cell name switch count. Boom. So immediately linked to my Excel document, and I can do the same thing with the diffuser count of supply diffuser. I think it's a supply diffuser or return diffuser, either way. And I'll go make this. And you notice that it did reset the price for some reason. I think that might be something with the document, but go ahead and change that, yeah, to whatever it is. I could also link this if I trust my Bluebeam prices more. I can go ahead and I can link that as well. So I can make that count of cost. Actually, you can make that the turn diffuser measurement. Okay, maybe I can't. Okay, well, that makes me look silly. So you can check on your links over here. You can see that this one says links connected. What that means is that if I went here and I deleted, let's see. Zoom count, and I added some more, that will link it over here. So if I disconnect it, you'll notice that it will not do that. See, I would have to go back in here and relink it, and then it will update with the new count quantities.